Hello everyone. Today I will show you from our iPhone or iOS device how we will communicate to any server uh, or any cloud. So the server technology you can implement anything. So the main idea we want to retrieve any JSON or any XML messages. Okay, but what is the underlying technology behind that? How we will implement it? This is the very basic lesson I want to give a today. I just want to demonstrate it. Today I just want to go through the theoretical aspect. In the second part of this tutorial, I will show you the practical how to do in the Xcode. Okay, the main class which is responsible for doing this is NSURLConnection. And this class is mainly responsible for establishing the connection between your iOS device to the server. Okay, and the very important thing, this connection is required a delegate method. Okay, what is delegate method, or not method exactly, a delegate class? So this delegate class may be your implementation class, some xyz.m file. So where you define this connection, so we can use the same class as a delegate. So what is the minimum criteria for a delegate class? To be a delegate class or to be a delegate, that particular class would implement four method. Okay, the first method is did receive response. Okay, I'll go through each of them in little bit more detail. So after that we have did receive data. Okay, don't worry about the method signature and everything till now. I will cover that in the second part when I will show you the code to run in the Xcode. Fail with error. Then the final one is that connection finish loading. Okay, so these are the four methods we must need to implement in a particular delegate class. Okay, so so before implementing any of this class, how we will get an instance of this NSURL connection. So to retrieving an instance of the NSURL connection, we need to define a NSURL request. And this NSURL request, this is basically a very string. This is an object which will just wrap your URL string. If you want to fetch the data from google.com, you have to type that Google URL. And at the same time, you need to specify a couple of more important properties like timeout and case policy. Okay, so once you created your NSURL request, you can create your NSURL connection object from that, and you can also specify some delegate as self if you want to use that same class as a delegate. The delegate will definitely need to implement this for method, and whenever this connection is successful, and this method will start calling one by one. So I'll show you the order which one is calling. So once our connection is established, at the time we need to create a NS mutable data type, a particular variable to store the data. Okay, let's say I given a name known as received data. Okay, so this particular NS mutable data will hold our data. Okay, so whenever this connection is established, so this particular method will be called. So basically this response object will be called whenever the server is fully ready to send you the response, or this server constructed the NS URL response fully. At that time this particular method did receive response will be called. Okay, and this in the did receive response, once we receive this NSURL response, we can inspect all the HTTP header information, like which MIME type server sent to us, and what is the content length, and some other standard property. Okay, and this did receive data is very important, and this particular will keep on called by the server or this delegate particular method will be invoked several times. Okay, so this and in this case actually we will receive NS data object incrementally. So what basically we need to do, whatever this particular received data, NS mutable data we created over here, and we need to take this NS data and we have to keep on adding here, or we need to append in the received data, so that we will get this data when this this finish with the downloading the data. Okay. Okay, now there is this method known as did fail with error, and this particularly, if any problem will happen downloading or your internet got disconnected, those kind of error we can get from this method. And there is a NS error object is there, and from here we can get like a localized description or any other important property. And this is the connection finish loading method will be invoked whenever our download completes. Okay, so this is kind of asynchronous way how actually we will invoke this particular iOS device to the server and get the data from it. There is a synchronous way to do that also, but that is not suggested. So this is how we can do in the asynchronous. Thanks very much for your time.